And joining us today is Steve Brown from the JDC. What does the JDC actually stand for?
It's the Junior Darts Corporation.
And you've been involved for how long with the JDC?
Initially, it started in 2010. Initially, it was the Steve Brown Darts Academy. Then we sort of outgrew my popularity, if you like. So, yes, we changed the name 2 years ago to the JDC. We run in line with the PDC as well, obviously. But, we're an independent body, yeah.
And how did a boy from Bristol, first of all, get involved in darts, and then, I guess, from your career, move into this area?
I got involved in darts. My dad's always played sort of county standard. I've been brought up in pubs and clubs. My parents have always ran them. So I started playing around about 15 years old. Then I had a son at the age of 18, so I didn't play so much then. I took it back up again about 24. Bumped into Mark Durbridge, a good friend of mine who's here with me today. And after a few sort of 6 months playing with Mark, he was doing radio. He was flying at the time in World Championship finals and stuff. And he took me into going pro.
And you yourself, I think it was the German Open that perhaps was your best days of playing, or was that a highlight for you?
Yeah, no, I think the highlight for me so far. I'm only 35, so I like to think my best days are ahead of me. But
not if you play Mark in every tournament.
No, I think I've been privileged enough to hit 2 line darters on a pro tour. I've won a pro tour, played in 24 televised events. So that's probably my biggest achievements.
A weird one, but if you look up you on YouTube, does it annoy you that it comes up with the 9 data that you missed on the double 12 first?
I've watched it 100 times. I keep praying it's going to go in, but it never does. Yeah.
Obviously then, coming into the junior development, what does JDC do differently that you've been able to expand and that you've been able to move both in the UK and obviously in Ireland and look to move overseas?
I started, the first academy was, I suppose the reason behind I started the academies was my son wanted to play darts. And I didn't really want to put him in a pub environment and to play with adults like the way I learned. Obviously, you always want better for your children, don't you? So I started a little darts club up with him and a few of his friends. And then what I realised was some of them weren't so good, but they were just playing winners' days on like youth darts has always been. So I developed a system where all the kids get to throw the same amount of darts and we judge their accuracy.
And that is important because we look at things in Australia like the Big Bash where the juniors are now involved where they get a go at everything and they're not quite out all the time. To not be kicked out early on in a tournament is really important for the child's confidence, I guess, but also for their development of skills.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, confidence is everything. And I always relate to the first time I went fishing, I didn't catch anything, and I've never been back since. So for me, it was something I wanted the kids to, every time that they come to the academy or start playing darts, that they went home with something, you know. So playing winner stays on in competitions, they weren't really getting that. So again, that's where the grading system come from.
And I guess explain the whole JDC, the grading system and the accuracy. How's that built around and what do we do?
Basically, what the kids do each week, they turn up and they play 3 disciplines. The disciplines involve throwing 57 darts at 57 different targets. They're quite fun games like Shanghai, round the board on doubles and stuff. Yep. But everybody throws the same amount of darts, whether they hit the target or miss. Off the base of that, there's 8. The season lasts for 8 weeks. After the end of each 8-week segment, they'll be graded based upon their average score. So in terms of that, obviously we start with a white shirt. There's 7 grades all the way up to a black shirt, which really resonates with the kids.
And in terms of coaching, you train up your coaches to a level so that there's a consistent approach across the world?
What we try to do is we provide them with a platform and a vehicle to promote darts at junior level and get everybody involved. I said that all the kids pay the same money and they get the same amount of darts each week. We have got unique routines that are endorsed by the PDC. But as far as we're concerned, we want to you get different coaching styles, and we want everybody to put their own spin on it. But I said all we do is provide the vehicle.
Okay, and obviously you've been in the UK and Ireland, and now you're out here in Australia looking towards expansion or people who are interested in being involved?
Absolutely, yeah. It was important for me. It was quite evident that there was a big market for junior darts, and certainly the structure that we've got. So I've developed a model that literally, as long as you've got internet access, you can become part of JDC anywhere in the world, and your kids can join in our world database and get a world ranking every week.
Yeah, actually, I've looked at a couple of names there. There's a Brown, there's a Cullen. I can't even think. Oh, there's a Bristow as well. So there's obviously people, but also names that we don't recognise. So it's great for juniors, perhaps for people who've been involved, a great way for getting their kids involved, but also for those people who perhaps are throwing it in the garage and their children have shown some kind of interest.
I've noticed a phenomenon now, whereas I think darts is experiencing a big boom again, like it did in the early 80s, and but obviously it was on TV all the time. Premier League, I think the World Championships was shown in over 130 countries this year. So, and naturally, as the prize money progresses as well, and so does the kids are going to want to play more and more. So for us, we're into putting darts in the kids' hands and nurturing them all the way through.
And obviously there is a youth set up through the PDC, but the JDC is a great way of getting, I guess, that step between the garage or just playing tournaments around and getting to that junior level in the UK and around the world eventually. Yeah,
our structure dovetails nicely into the PDC structure. So as far as they're concerned, we're putting darts in kids' hands from the age of 6, looking after them until they're 18, and then we hand them over. They can go anywhere they want. They can go BDO, PDC, but PDC do give us some funding, which we're very grateful for, and they're very supportive.
And I've got to ask you, on the back of actually a guy that you've beaten before, Paul Nicholson's qualification in the Q School, you've faced that pressure of the Q School before. How different is it? It's really hard to explain to people out there just how hard it is when you've got absolutely anybody being able to turn up. Matt Clark came from Australia this year to represent as well. Mm-hmm. How difficult is that competition?
Oh, it's fierce. I think there's 450 players in it this year. Realistically, 160, 200 players had a chance of qualifying for 28 spots. I think Paul done fantastically well. He didn't just qualify one day. I think he had enough points before the last day anyway, so just goes to show he's had a real turn in form, and all the best to him. I like Paul.
And finally, what's your ambition for, first of all, the JDC and also for your career?
The ambition for the JDC, obviously we've introduced this system now. It's all we've got a clever app that does all the work for the coaches. But also the app speaks to the website, so all the kids' scores are logged weekly. They get world ranked. We have competitions where you play in categories of your own ability, not your age group, which is very important, I think. So we want to visit, I think, 4 or 5 more territories this year. Obviously, I'm really proud to be in Australia and get this off the ground there. I've met some lovely people, some really enthusiastic people, and it's been really refreshing, actually. The amount of I didn't realise how big junior darts was in Australia, and we've met some, like I said, some really great people. And as far as my own playing career goes, I didn't get a tour card, so I've had an injury for a few years, and it's probably a blessing in disguise I didn't get one. It's give me a chance to rest the elbow and come back stronger next year.
Brilliant. Well, we welcome you to Australia, or both of you, and we thank you for bringing JDC down. I'm sure there'll be people who want to get involved, and we'll put it up on the website and Facebook page as to how to get involved. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you very much.